Have you ever noticed the woke left loves to tap into our altruistic sensitivities to justify taking away from us our most beloved liberties, our freedoms? Well, this is happening in Scotland. The First Minister, who is something akin to the head of state in Scotland, is a guy by the name of Humza Yousaf, and if you say that doesn't sound Scottish, it's because it's not. This is a image of Yousaf. He's not Scottish, but he is the head of state effectively in Scotland, the country of Scotland, which is part, as you know, of the United Kingdom. They've got this new law that's going to take effect April the 1st, or took effect April the 1st. If you're watching this video after April the 1st, what is the law? Well, the law effectively says this. I'm kind of summarizing. But the law effectively says that comedians, well, any actor, but comedians can be arrested and prosecuted for hate crimes if they say something that makes somebody feel uncomfortable. Effectively, that's what the law is. So, what makes somebody feel uncomfortable? Well, due to their religion or their ethnicity or maybe what their last name is, like Yousaf. If the comedian makes fun of Yousaf because of his last name, that's considered a hate crime because it could make him uncomfortable or somebody else uncomfortable. So off to jail you go, off to court you go, then off to being prosecuted you go, and then off to prison you go. Attack on free speech, yeah, I think so. But let's scroll down here and see what the defenders of this draconian legislation have to say about it. In a statement Monday, Community Safety Minister Siobian Brown, okay, that sounds Scottish, said this, quote, for these, or rather those impacted by hatred and prejudice. Who would that be? That would be the proletariat, right? The middle class is the bourgeois because they're in control, and those who are impacted by hatred and prejudice, well, again, that's spurious. That's relative. I mean, who is impacted by hatred and prejudice? Everybody. Except for us, you know. Native Scotsmen, for some reason, they don't care about natives in Scotland. I mean, in America, Native Americans, yeah, we care about them, but Native Scottish people, nah. The results can be traumatic and life-changing. Wonder how Siobian knows that. I don't know if that's a male or female. Of course, to the woke left, it really doesn't matter anymore because they think we're all just one gender. The results can be traumatic and life-changing. What? I mean, what is... There's no substance to this other than hatred and prejudice, which are relative. And being traumatic and life-changing can be relative. I mean, the slightest little thing can be traumatic. Is there some scientific study that has been performed that determines that there is this measure of hatred and prejudice that causes a significant measure of trauma? That is absolutely life-changing. I mean, these are just words, meaningless words, clouds without rain, so to speak. But they do impact people. So, you know, to me, that's very offensive. And to me, that's hatred and prejudice that she would even say these things. And to me, that is traumatic and life-changing. Okay, so throw her in jail, or him in jail, I don't know. Well, we respect everyone's right to freedom, she goes on to say, or it goes on to say. Again, I really don't know. I probably should have looked this up before I started, but I don't know who Brown is. So we will refer to Brown as it going forward. While we respect everyone's right to freedom of expression, nobody in our society, here we go, they're going to tap into our altruistic sensitivities, should live in fear or made to feel like they don't belong. Nobody? What about me? What if I go to Scotland? I'm not Scottish, you can tell by my accent. Actually, my ancestry is British and Irish, so maybe I am Scottish. And I don't feel like I belong there because they have this law that is woke, and I'm not woke. not in the politically, charged sense of woke. I'm actually awake. I woke up about 9 o'clock this morning, slept in a while. And the Scottish government is committed to building safer communities. Oh, this is a safety issue. Apparently, there's no crime in Scotland. I mean, nobody's getting mugged, beaten, stabbed, robbed. There are no burglaries of any kind, but the real danger to safety is if somebody would say something that would offend somebody else because of something about that person that, ethnicity? These are people who say that's a social construct. It doesn't even exist. These are people who say gender doesn't exist. Men can have babies. If men existed, which they don't, we're just all one big blob. Because, that's what fits into the Marxist spectrum. Okay, these people that live free from hatred and prejudice. So if a comedian gets up and says something funny about, say, a homosexual person, or say an American like me, maybe, I'm from Indiana, so the comedian could get up and say something funny about people like to call us hayseeds or country bumpkins, or usually there's some joke about corn, because we grow a lot of corn in Indiana. And that would make me feel uncomfortable, so that comedian could be prosecuted. They're just stupid. I'm trying to think of a way to frame this where it makes sense, but that's the best I come up with. It's just flat out dumb. Hate crime is behavior that is both criminal and rooted in prejudice. What is hate crime? Anything they want it to be. I mean, this is just open source prosecution. You can say that's a hate crime. What is a hate crime? Anything. You can look at somebody. Michelle Obama said people would not look at her. White people would not look at her, and that made her feel uncomfortable. Therefore, looking at somebody could be a hate crime because it's intimidating, and not looking at somebody could be a hate crime because it shows prejudice. So if you look at them, you can be prosecuted. If you don't look at them, you can be prosecuted. That's a hate crime, and it's rooted in prejudice, and it's criminal, according to this person. It can be verbal. Here we go. Ready? It can be verbal, physical, online, or face-to-face, or eye-to-eye in the case of Michelle. The new law will give greater protection to those who need it. Excuse me, but I think that's a flat-out lie. I just do. I don't think they need protection from feeling uncomfortable. I mean, who doesn't feel uncomfortable? You go out in public any point in time, and people can make you feel uncomfortable. I mean, what if you're overweight? People can make you feel uncomfortable. What if you're skinny? People can make you feel uncomfortable by the way they look at you, the way they treat you. What if they think you're too fit? You obviously kind of arrogant, narcissistic because you're in good shape. I mean, doesn't matter. This is so relative and helps to form the basis of understanding about the type of behavior. It's, behavior that is not acceptable in our society. I'm just thinking, I'm pausing to think about how leftists used to say not very long ago that you can't legislate morality. And this is obviously a moral judgment. What is and what is not hate speech. So what happened is initially they got their foot in the door, we gave them an inch and we said, yeah, okay, hate crimes are bad things. And they took that and ran with it. They used it to justify insane legislation, snatches away our freedom. There's a little rectangle on the screen. Click on that. Keep on watching. There's a little circle on your screen. Click on that. You can subscribe, and we'll see you all next time.